someone you care about is diagnosed with the disease.
Yeah, according to cancer.org, more than 1 million people this year alone will be told by a doctor that they have cancer. That means someone you know may be affected.
We asked the Cancer Hope Network and the cancer support group SHARE for some honest answers about what to say and what not to say.
Cancer is very uncomfortable. It's not only uncomfortable for the person who's received a diagnosis, but it's uncomfortable for your family and friends.
I found that a lot of people tell you horror stories. Like they'll tell you, oh yeah, my mother had breast cancer. And I say, oh, how is she doing? And they'll say, well, she died.
You can have somebody who tries to empathize and tries to communicate all of this in their voice, and it sounds so false. That, are you okay? And you just want to take that person and just like throw them under a truck.
Even apologizing and say, I don't know how to act, I don't know what to say, but I'm really sorry and I'm here for you is a perfect thing to say.
Knowing that people are there for you, knowing that they're present, knowing that they're willing to listen, knowing that they're there to help you in any way, that makes a difference.
Instead of asking me, what would you like to eat? Anything we can bring? Like, if they could ask me, I can do chicken soup, lasagna.
I think when you're going through this, you don't want to hear from anybody that you're not trying hard enough, or that what you're going through is not as bad as you're experiencing.
People often say is that you look good. And that can be interpreted in so many different ways depending on the day and how you're feeling.
Hearing you'll do great, or you'll get through this, you can do this, because in the beginning you think there is no way I'm going to be able to get through chemo, surgery, and all the things that I have to face. There's no way that I can get through this.
Here was some advice on how to reach out to someone who's battling cancer or any serious illness is psychologist Dale Atkins. Hey, Dale.
Hi, Dale.
Good morning.
There was a lot of great information in that, wasn't there?
Great information.
People have the right intention, and I think it's one of those things that, I mean, when I went through it, it's funny, I probably asked some of those terrible things before, but once it happens to you, you have a sensitivity that's up about it.
But you don't think it's terrible.
No.
You're trying to be kind.
You're trying to be helpful. You're trying to be engaging. I think the message that really came through so clear was let people know you're there for them, that they are fine the way they are, whatever they're experiencing, whatever feelings they have, that you're not going to judge them, you're not going to in any way criticize them, and that they can depend on you, and that you have to come back over and over. You know, cancer usually takes a long time to deal with, between the chemotherapies or radiation or surgery. People are sick for a while, and a lot of people jump in the very beginning, but you've got to keep going. Get a lot of cards to send. Ask if you can do dinner. Take the children. Do the laundry. Be available. Tangible things. And the woman who said, tell me if you're making chicken soup or lasagna. Sometimes people don't want to make any decisions, but here, I'm making chicken soup and I've got some, I'm bringing it over.
To me, there's only one terrible thing someone can do, and that is they're too afraid to call at all. Yes. And sometimes you think, I don't want to impose. And I was sort of that way before, and now I always say, just call.
Yes.
When I send a card, if you don't want to, right? Right. When I got out of surgery, I'll never forget it. The very first phone call that came to my room was from Matt. Didn't hesitate, didn't say like, oh, I didn't want to bother you, I didn't know if they're, just call anyway, right? Just to get through.
Yes, because people need to know that they are still in people's thoughts, that they're valued. When you're sick and you don't know what the future is, sometimes you wonder whether you still have value. Are you going to be able to do it? You need to have people lift you up in their thoughts, in their prayers, and hold you. And in fact, there are prayers like that. And you need to know that you are still important. So those calls, those letters, those emails, those funny little commentaries that you can send, a joke. Now, it works with some people, may not work with others.
You have to know the person, and your relationship is different with different people.
But generally, letting someone know that I'm thinking of you, you're in my heart, and I'm praying for you. If this is something that resonates, is there something I can do?
Something else people do, I think, is they say, have you ever talked to this doctor, or did you try X? And that, when you've been through a battery of doctors, the last thing you want to hear is, oh, by the way, you didn't do enough.
Right.
That's the way you're going to take it.
That's how you're going to take it, even if they mean well.
Also, and that gentleman said that, that what I'm experiencing kind of isn't like my real experience. Your role is to be supportive. Your role is not to be the advisor, and we are not supposed to give advice unless we are asked for it, and that's really tough sometimes. But you've been through this. We've all been through something. You could say, you know, when I was going through this, I found this helpful. If you'd like to know about it, I'll be happy to tell you about it. You know, I know recently I sent someone a little meditation that's on the app, and I said, would you like that? And she said, yeah, I never did that, but I'll try it. And it was helpful. But she said to me, I'm looking for something to do when my thoughts are going crazy, and this seemed to work. But let people know you're there, you love them. And the woman who said, you look great, let people know, I'm just so glad to be with you.
So glad.
You don't have to comment on how they look.
Thank you. Well, you look great.
Yeah, and I sort of liked it when people did that to me. But anyway, that's just me.
From the right words to the right message, why women need to stop apologizing and start empowering themselves.
I'm sorry. And the newest song by country